Can you see me? I hope that's picking up. I want to get it in background. I can't get close. It's shut. I can't believe it. I've come all this way. I've been bigging this up all week to get here, and I can't get because it's shut. But it's due to high winds, isn't it? And that's what I get for choosing to come on this tour in the middle of winter. It's just been windy every single day so far. Anyway, I'm at Whitby Abbey. It's iconic, it's dramatic, and if you believe the legends, it's a place where history and myth collide. So in 657, which is years ago, over 1300 years ago, there was Saint Hilda of Whitby, and she established a monastery here. And then a few years later, 664, there was a meeting of all the important clergy of the land. And a lot of people say this is the birthplace of English Christianity, because in that meeting, they were to discuss what way religion in England would take. Would it go the Roman way or would it go the Celtic way? And here's a spoiler, Rome won. And if it hadn't, then religion could have been very different in England today. Anyways, then them Vikings arrived doing all their raping and pillaging, and they completely demolished the site. And it laid in ruins for 200 years before the Normans arrived, and they rebuilt it as this Gothic marvel, or what's left of it, that we see today. And then in 1897, Bram Stoker, you may have heard of him. He was writing a book that you may have read called Dracula, and he was so inspired by Whitby Abbey. He featured it in the book. I've not read it. It's not my cup of tea, really. But I've heard it's very good. Anyway, it's been inspiring people for years since, whether it's artists or photographers or authors or even YouTubers. People come to stand under Whitby Abbey and admire and soak up the mystery and get blown over. I absolutely love Whitby. I love it in winter, I don't love it in summer, because in summer it gets rammed. But as part of this trip on the Yorkshire coast, obviously I'm going to visit Whitby, and I wanted to make my video a little bit different. So I've been doing my research on the internet, and I want to show you some different things in Whitby. Some of you might know them, but a lot of you won't. So we'll do it a bit different this time. Rather than all the main sites, we'll see if we can find any quirky little things. Right, I'm going to have to get down off this hillside because it's freezing. I need to get out of that wind. Now, I'm worried about the audio popping. What I found on my other videos is when the wind gets super high, it sort of clips the audio a little bit. So apologies if there's some of that in this video. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm not coming back in summer, put it that way. Here we've got St Mary's Church. Isn't it lovely? I've spent many a time in this graveyard looking at the headstones and reading the names. Now, it's lovely having a church perched on the church perch. It's lovely having a church on the top of a hill, but it did pose some logistical problems, which I will show you now as we head down the famous 199 steps, which in St Hilda's time, they would have been wooden. Along the way, we'll see these benches where many people, including me, have taken a rest, especially that one at the top. When you've got to the top and you're absolutely shattered, have a sit down there, get your breath. And here's another one. But the interesting thing about these benches is they're not designed for the living. They're not for people to sit down and have a rest on the way up to the top. You imagine when they were having a funeral at the church, the coffins would have had to have been carried up here. So these are actually coffin resting places. So the poor pallbearers that were carrying them up would sit the coffins on there and have 5 minutes. When I said a bit up there about the original steps being wooden, I wonder if it might have been this side bit, and this, I mean, this will have been built, I don't know, probably Norman times. I've seen a plaque on the wall. We'll go and have a look. Can't know everything. I've enough on trying to remember what I have. Look at that. How beautiful. Yeah, that don't really give any information. I don't know if that's a separate path or that could have been the original one. I ought to look that up. There's a little coffee shop there. Could do with a coffee. I'm not having my breakfast yet. Thing is, it's fairly early and I want to have a look around as much as I can before too many people get here. Now, I'm trying to find the kipper place. There's a place around here. Oh, we're back at the steps, look. I'm doing a bit of a loop. There's a place called Fortune's Kippers, and it's been here since 1872, I think. And it's the same family that's run it. Oh, I can see it up there. I don't know if I like smoked kippers. We'll go and have a look. So yes, since 1872, they've been smoking kippers. The same family in this spot. That's exactly 100 years before I was born. So that makes it, I don't know, 153 years old. And I spoke to the lady inside, and she said I could film this bit, and you can see the kippers here being smoked. It's quite dark, but there they are. Oh, the smell. It's like the charcoal smell. Fantastic. Do you like smoked kippers? They're all right. They're not my favourite thing. I'll eat them, but my hands feel like they're going to drop off. I'm tempted to go and get a coffee, but I need to get more filming done. This is like the historic street, the old town. It's absolutely beautiful. It's getting quite busy already, look. All the shops are opening up. It's pretty. So it's already getting quite busy and it's fairly early. So, and it's freezing, middle of winter. So you can see what I mean about summer. You ain't going to move at all on here in summer. It's all about the Whitby jet. I've just bought myself a Christmas present. I've had to make an investment. So as I'm doing a lot of filming in winter and I'm walking around and I'm trying to operate a camera, but my hands are absolutely freezing. I can't explain how cold my hands are today. But you can't wear gloves. So I thought I'd get some fingerless gloves. Look at them. They were quite expensive, to be honest, but they're top quality. And I guess if it's your job, you need the best, don't you? So yeah, that's a Christmas present to myself. Pair of bloody fingerless gloves. I like how the fisherman is looking out into the harbour, admiring the scaffolding. I was just having a moment then because I came crabbing with my son here a few years back. Absolutely brilliant crabbing spot here, and yeah, just bringing back memories. So I know he watches, and if you're watching, you need to know I love you. And do you remember crabbing here? We had a great time. We caught some rake crabs in Whitby. No. Don't attack me. Yeah. Right, there's only so much seagull footage I can have.
That's true. Obviously, she's quite liking the attention.
Yeah, she is. And as I was walking up all the back streets of Whitby, and there's loads of coffee shops and cafes, and the smell, oh, I'm so hungry. So I'm going to do this next thing, what I want to show you, and then I need to get some sort of breakfast, really. And here we are. I've just walked about half a mile up a steep hill for this. Look at those. What are they? These steps that lead to nowhere. There's a couple of them in Whitby, I believe. And in fact, you'll see them scattered all over Yorkshire. And people will think, whatever is it for? What is the use in these steps that go to nowhere? Well, fear not, because I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to sit here while I do that, like a right numpty. Anyway, so it was for the mailmen. I wrote this down, but I forgot it, my piece of paper, so this is just coming off the top of my head. So, you know, in like 18th century, there were mailmen that had like the mail coach, you know, horse and carts, coaches and stuff. And it was quite difficult for them to get onto the horse. So that's what these steps are for. They would climb up and then get onto the horse. And it's funny because if you look at some of the locations of them, they're usually outside pubs or where pubs were. And I'm sure this behind me was probably a pub back in the day, in which case they would have needed the steps to help them get on the horse, wouldn't they? Interesting that, isn't it? Was it worth it? I don't know. Right, I need to get some food. I really do. It's hard work, this vlogging. And if I don't fill my tummy, I'll not be able to vlog sufficiently. I think the next bit coming up, the next interesting nugget of information I'm going to give you is the highlight of the video. It is for me. It's a little bit macabre, a little bit spooky and ooh, scary and all that stuff. So I'm going to find a coffee shop and I'm going to get a coffee and I'm going to have something like a toasted tea cake. Maybe a bacon sandwich, I don't know. We'll see how I feel. And then I will be able to, I'll take you with me. If it's not too busy, I feel like a right muppet filming in coffee shops. But if it's not too busy, in fact, sod it, I'll film it, I'm not bothered. I don't care anymore. Oh, there's a mailman there, look. I wonder if he's going up to them steps to get in his van. Coffee shop. It's a little coffee shop. There's a gentleman. Ooh, I can't film him. There was a gentleman in the window, and I thought it was one of those Father Christmas figurines, and it were a real man. I much prefer the back street coffee shops. Oh, Tales of the Peculiar. Here we go. This looks like a nice quirky little place. Do they do food? Yes, they do. So this is a nice cafe I've come in. It's called the Jet Black Jewel. There you go. Oh, somebody's food's ready. Can't be mine, because if it is, that were quick. I've ordered poached egg on sourdough bread and a black coffee. Well, that was very nice. I really enjoyed that. That's give me the energy that I require for this interesting thing that I'm going to show you now. Are you ready for this? Do you know what? Oh, I don't believe it. He's shut. It's bloody shut. What's it say? I've come all this way. I'm vlogging. Closed for winter. Closed for bloody winter. I'm gonna have to rethink these vlogs. Stop doing them in winter. I've got some really interesting stuff as well. I can't remember it. Ah, dear. It's nice sat here in it, son. Might just sit here and feel sorry for myself. Anyway, I'll tell you what I was going to show you, and I'll find some pictures and put them on screen. So, this is a bit dark as well, so you might want to not listen if you're of a sensitive disposition. During medieval times, when there were criminals, particularly thieves and burglars, they used to hang them. And in a lot of medieval Europe, they used to go and chop the hands off. So the bodies would be hanging, they'd chop the hands off. And they would preserve them, they'd pickle them. And in this museum here is one of the few remaining pickled hands. And it was called the Hand of Glory, because it became a very prized possession. So what the myth says, the history is true, apparently. The local criminals would get hold of these hands. That sounds daft, doesn't it? Get hold of the hands. And they would also take fat from the body and they would turn it into candles. And in each finger of the hand, they would stick candles, and they would light the candles from human fat. And the myth said, the legend said, that when they went into people's houses, when they would break into somebody's house with this hand of glory, it would put all the people in the house to sleep, and they would be able to burglarise them in peace. I don't know if that's accurate. It's something I read. I think it is. Look it up. The Hand of Glory. Whitby Hand of Glory. I really wanted to see it. Oh, well, it is what it is, isn't it? And there were two other interesting things in the museum I wanted to look at. One is a stuffed crocodile called Clarence, which has its own Instagram page. And they keep dressing it up in funny outfits. And it's, as you walk in, apparently, this crocodile, which I'm not sure about dressing it up. It's a bit disrespectful, isn't it, to dead crocodiles. Don't like that, but I wanted to see it. And then the other thing, now this is going to test my memory. They've got, you know, like they have taxidermy birds, but there's a rare bird from Indonesia that they've got in here, and it's called a fluffy-backed tit bobbler. That might be wrong. Something like that, a fluffy-backed tit bobbler. I just thought, that is it. That is got to be one of the best bird names in the world, a fluffy-backed tit bobbler. You know, I like a good bird, me. I like to twitch. Not wrong with a bit of twitching when you're looking at birds. But I'd love to see a fluffy back tit bobbler. That might be wrong. Anyway, it got me thinking. I remember reading somewhere years and years ago and thinking it was hilarious. And it was the top 10 stupidest bird names. So if you'll indulge me, we'll do that now. I need my glasses on for this because I've actually made a list. That's where, oh, fluffy back tit babbler. Yeah, that's the right one. So these are my top 10 silly bird names. It's a new entry. Oh, I need to do music, don't I? Oh, there's people coming. Bloody people coming. Just let these people pass. They stood. They're doing the same as what I've just done. It's shut. Can't hear me. I know. Shut for winter. I like how people, they go and see a sign and it says closed, and then they have to go and see other sign that says closed just to confirm it's definitely closed. Oh, they're gonna sit down. They're sitting down. I can't do my silly bird names here with them. I'm gonna have to go find somewhere else. Right. I've got a new location. There's nobody around. I need to be doing this in private because there's actions. There ain't actions. I don't know why I said that. This is, in my opinion, the top 10 silly bird. Camera's waddling. It's that windy. Camera's waddling. This is my compilation of the top 10 silly bird names 2024. Music. I'll have to cut that music because copyright issues. Anyway, coming in at number 10, straight in there, it's the grey go-away bird. You're in your back garden, there's loads of birds, there's one that keeps harassing you, you're like, go away bird, and it's grey go-away bird. Number 9, quite confusingly, is the perplexing scrub wren. I don't know, it's perplexing. Does that mean like, it's confusing, isn't it? That's what that means. Number 8, this has got to be the favourite bird name of young boys all around the world, and it is simply boobies. What's your favourite bird, Timmy? Boobies. I've lost it, hang on. Number 7, oh, just lowering tone here. It's a sad fly catcher. Yeah, it's going around catching flies. It's very miserable. What are you doing? Catching flies. I'm very sad. If my actions go a little bit more sort of low key now, it's because a man's walking past. I'll just stand around and wait for him to go past. The man is behind me. There is the man. The man is gone. What did we do? Number 7. So yeah, that was number 7. That's the sad fly catcher. Number 6, it's really depressing, this one. It's a somber tit. A somber tit, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen some somber tits in my time. Birds, not what you're thinking. In a similar vein of somber tits, number 5 is the European shag. They can be seen flying around Magaluf. Not really. Number 4 is a rough-faced shag, and I'm sure we've seen many of them in our time. It's getting a bit into it, this. I'm lowering tone. I'm sorry, I don't mean to, but you know, you can't not say stuff like that to these words, can you? A rough-faced shag. They're from Doncaster. I'm kidding. I am really kidding. Genuinely, I love Doncaster. It was the first thing that come in my head. Number 3 is a right little It's a red-rumped bush tyrant. Just tyranting in bush. All other birds are trying to get on, but then you've got the red-rumped bush tyrant coming in causing trouble. There's more people coming, so I'm going to rush through this because we're at number 2, and this is me after a night out on the beer, and that's a spangled drongo. I don't know what that means. Spangled, isn't that a saying for when you're drunk? Spangled. I don't think a drongo is a nice thing though, is it? Spangled drongo. Anyway, And this week's number one, this year's number one, the silliest bird name ever, in my opinion, has got to be the drab seed eater. You can imagine Barry and Dave, who's spent their whole lives naming birds, and they're a bit fed up of naming birds, because when they started, they were coming up with all Latin things and all fancy names, and then they're getting fed up now, and then they see a bird and they've just, oh, we've discovered a new bird. What we're going to call this, Barry? Oh, I don't know, it's crap. It's eating seeds, it's drab. A drab seed eater. Come on, let's go. And then they retired. Anyway, there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm off to see some serious stuff now. Yeah, disappointing about museum, but I think I managed to tell you about the interesting stuff that's in. I'm going to my next thing now. I can't remember what it is. There was some house, like a monument. I think it's near front. We'll go and look at that. That's snazzy, isn't it? I could do with that today to get around. Right, I'm looking for something. I'm not sure where it is. I know it's behind the statue. I was going to say Thomas Cook. It's behind the Thomas Cook statue. They must have moved it. I can't find it. I'll have to ask somebody. It's a lovely view from up here. And I don't get up this end as much. So there he is, Captain Thomas Cook, Captain James Cook, looking out over at sea. He stood there going, "It's my land as far as it's my sea as far as I can see it." Don't have a go at me for not doing any Captain Cook stuff, because there's like loads of Captain Cook stuff on YouTube. I want to do stuff a bit different. But this is a lovely view. Look at them waves are crashing. You can't go right out on the wooden bits. You can go as far as the lighthouse. I'll go down there in a bit. Them's the whale bones anyway, they're very famous. That's from the jaw of a big whale, an Alaskan whale, I believe. I can't find this thing I'm looking for. I'm going to wander up here. It's supposed to be on the front somewhere. But it's not signposted or anything. Do you know where there's like a bombed out monument, isn't there? Like,
Pardon?
Is there like a bombed out monument? Like a recreation of the bomb?
Just down there, look there.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
All right.
Not much of a thing.
Isn't it? All right. I probably thought, yeah, I probably thought it was something better than what it is. Thank you. There's no wonder I can't find it. It's just this tiny thing. I thought it was like a proper house. Ew. There's hardly any signpost. Mind you, there's no wonder they've not signposted it. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's disappointing, isn't it? It's not even a real like house or anything. It's not the remains of a real house. That's a recreation. You know, that is a recreation of a bombed out house. Not a very big house. And there's lots of history there. And that was unveiled in 2014. Yeah, it's a bit, innit? That were a bit of a letdown. It's clouding over now. Forecast a bit of rain. I'm going to go down up here and have a wander, and we'll have a look along front. I'm not going to do fish and chips. That'd be wrong. Oh, I've had fish and chips here before, in Magpie. You'll see it in my video. It's quite a good video, that, when I come with Ellen. It was over a year ago now. But it was just a booze up. So I'm going to walk under the arches. And that's apparently if you walk under these arches and you sing underneath the arches, you get a very good look and you become very wealthy and a famous YouTuber, apparently. That's what happens. Yes, I remember that fateful day very well. That's my daughter there, having her donut stolen. True story, that. When you're in wind, it's like horrible, isn't it? But then I kind of like it as well. Look at this here. They've chained it off. But ain't stopping me. Look at that, eh? I'm a rebel. Not stopping me walking down pier. God, I see why they've cordoned it off. It's hold on to your hat weather. I ain't losing my nomad hat. I love it. My God, when this tide gets higher, the waves are going to get even bigger. They've cordoned it off for my own safety, but I'm like an intrepid explorer. I walk in the heavy wind. I'm not going all the way to end. It's too dangerous. I have to take my hat off. Surprise, I'm bald! There's a storm coming in. I don't know what voice that was. Oh my giddy kippers, as Helen would say. Look at this. Oh. You got to love a bit of that wave action, haven't you? Right, we need to head back to civilization. A bit of shelter. Bracing. It's such a beautiful place, Whitby. It's amazing. And yeah, just, you know, my bit of advice would be avoid the school holidays and the sort of middle of summer, because it really does get busy and it's not enjoyable. But I came a couple of years ago in summer and I was like, never again. And I really do love it. So that's why I come in winter. And I come with Helen. And in fact, as Helen is not with me today, to commemorate her, she's all right, she's alive, she's still alive. I'm going to go to a bar down here. So we came here over a year ago. We had one of the best, it might have been about a year ago, we had one of the best days ever in Whitby. And I recommend that vlog. If you just go to YouTube and type By the Curb Whitby, you'll see a picture of Helen on it. We had a lovely day. And there was a little bar up a side street, like a cafe. And she had a stout. And we talk about how she loves her stouts, as you know. And it's like a dessert stout, which are the best. And she'll always say, this is probably one of the best stouts she ever had. It is fantastic. So I'm going to see if they still have it. I doubt it. But this time of year, they should have something similar if they don't. So I'm going to have a stout. It might not even be open. It's that one. I'm just talking to myself. Oh, it's closed.
You okay then?
Yeah, I'm fine, I'm fine. Oh, that, and it's closed, look. It doesn't open until 3 o'clock. It's because it gets dark so early. You know, I thought it were about 3, half 3. Anyway, I'm going to head up here. There's some nice little bars up here. I've got to have a stout. Here we are, the Green Dragon. Will I get a seat? Right, I couldn't make my mind up what to get, so I've got 2. And I had to get this one. This is a Texas barbecue. So obviously we've been in Texas a couple of weeks ago. Got to do it. Oh, God. Yeah, it's very smoky. Oh. And in complete contrast to that, we've got a Mexican mud pie. That's quite spicy. By Jove, it's cold. I'm heading back to the van. That'll warm me up because it's about a mile's walk. I need to nip in Sainsbury's as well before it shuts to get something for my tea. And then I'm going to get that heating on and get cosy and start editing this video. I just hope there's been enough sunshine today because my battery, my power are getting pretty low for the heating. So yeah, sorry, I was just thinking. Anyway, this might be the last video before Christmas, probably will be. So I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. Don't overdo it. And I'll probably see you between Christmas and the New Year in the next one. I don't know what that's going to be, whether it'll be Robin Hood's Bay. I don't know if I've got time to film that. I was thinking maybe tomorrow, if the weather's nice, I could go there tomorrow. But I really need to go and do my Christmas shopping, since it's 2 days before Christmas. I leave everything like last minute. Well, it's usually the best way, that, because you go shopping. Like I used to go Christmas Eve. It'd be empty, and sales have started. Anyway, thanks again for watching. Please make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next one. All right, see you there.